Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lacey, Washington for another edition of GNAC Women's Basketball. My name's Scott Gladstone. Alongside me is Sean Wally. We're here to bring you another edition of St. Martin's Women's Basketball. They're hosting the University of Alaska Fairbanks. And Sean, just a really quick intro into this game as we're about ready to get going. Two teams, one with a brand new head coach. Both of them have one win in conference. They're gonna be scrapping right now because both teams think this is one they can win and one that they kind of need to win.
The Saints finally got one on Saturday up in Canada, defeated Simon Fraser. The good news tonight, somebody has to get their second win. I've never seen a tie in the GNAC.
Yeah, so we will be just about ready to bring you that one. We're going to have the national anthem and the starting lineups brought to you by Pints Doghouse, and we'll just be ready to get going. Sean Wally and Scott Gladstone here with you for GNAC Women's Basketball.
A 6'1" sophomore, number 1, Ellen Silva. A 5'9" sophomore, number 22, Destiny Reimer.
Welcome back, folks. We're just about ready to get underway. The starting lineups are brought to you by Pints Doghouse. Pints Doghouse coming soon to Lacey, just across College Street from the St. Martin's campus. Starting lineup for the University of Alaska Fairbanks is Ellen Silva, Destiny Reimers, Paulo Perez Mendoza, and Emma McKinney, and Kayla Johnson. Kayla Johnson just had her name announced. Maybe you heard a little boost in the applause as a good section of her supporters from Federal Way, Washington, just up the interstate, have come down to support her. St. Martin's is led by Angel Galbraith. Sarah Lamette, the freshman, makes another start, as does Kiana Rios. Shanoa Louie, coming off a breakout game up at Simon Fraser, was a big part of that first conference win for the Saints, as well as Lauren Morris, one of the grittiest players on this St. Martin's squad. John, I mentioned it in the article I wrote after the Simon Fraser game. That Simon Fraser win was the first win for St. Martin's up in Canada since the first ever game that they played against the Red Leafs. And it was just a huge kind of monkey off the back moment because they got that win at the Red Leafs, and then they also got their first GNAC win. Both of those things very, very important for them to kind of get on the path that Christy Martin wants to be on, especially after all the injuries, the young team, the early season woes that they've had.
Yeah, Scott, you said it, that they got their first win on Saturday up north. Simon Fraser, the 4-point victory, 61-57. Smiles all around this week here in-house at St. Martin's.
Yeah, I mean, walking around just throughout this early part of the week, you could tell there was a noticeable difference with head coach Christy Martin as well as associate head coach Jared Stottlemyre. Just kind of what it feels like to get that weight lifted off your shoulder, especially after so many heartbreaking losses. We've seen a couple here. They had one that you could kind of frame it at that up at Western Washington, a top 10 ranked team in the country. They were leading by 8 after the end of the first quarter. And then Western Washington kind of turned it on and handled them down the stretch. But every single game they felt like they were in it. And that Simon Fraser, they finally found the closing marks up in Canada. Opening tip-off won by Fairbanks, grabbed by the Washington native, Kayla Johnson. She puts it in, and the first points in her home state are scored by the true freshman.
Johnson, a star at Decatur High School.
Now it's Kiana Rios, 2 true freshmen in this starting lineup, as Lauren Morris tried to get it to 1 in Sarah Lamette, but it's tipped away. Coming the other way for Alaska Fairbanks. Fairbanks coming in with a conference record of 1-6, 5-10 overall, compared to 6-10 and 1-6 by the Saints. Floater on the way, doesn't go through.
2 possessions right to Johnson each time for Alaska.
Galbraith now picks up her dribble, throws cross court to Kiana Rios. They're going to give her space, banks it in. Even when she was a little off target there, she slaps it off the window. That's how it's gone some games for Kiana Rios. Now it's Silva with it. She throws it down on the low block, guarded by Shanoa Louie, but just too easy as it's flipped up off the glass for Destiny Reimers. Wide open, Shanoa Louie right on the baseline, but Angel Galbraith tried to thread it a little bit too much. Louie had to go against her momentum to try and come back and get that one. Couldn't handle it cleanly, goes out of bounds, and it's UAF ball. Fighting for position down low. And now the hook shot off target. Rebound goes to Lamette, who tipped it to Lauren Morris. Now coming the other way, Kiana Rios. She's double teamed near the baseline. Out to Galbraith, who asks for a pick and roll. Jab step and a kick out to Louie, who gets it to Rios. On the low block, Sarah Lamette, hook shot. Flips it off back iron. Rebound goes to the Nanooks. Full court heave right on the money. Jump stop, pops it up, and it goes in for Kayla Johnson.
It's like a nice cheering section for Kayla Johnson just below us, of course.
Got a couple personalized blue Johnson 32 jerseys down there. They came prepared. Angel Galbraith for 3. Off and was right there for Kiana Rios, but ends up doinking off her and out of bounds. 6-3 in the early going with 7:29 left in our first quarter here. This is a doubleheader. We got UAF versus SMU all the way, as the nightcap will be the men's side, the defending regular season champions versus the defending tournament champions. You called that game right here on this floor. This is UAF's first return to Marcus Pavilion since taking home the conference crown.
A much different looking team, though.
A much different looking team. But they came into that tournament as underdogs, as they will come into tonight. So you never know. And this game in itself, these are 2 teams that are used to coming in as underdogs throughout their season. And that's another reason why I mentioned the importance of this game for both sides, as they see it as very winnable. Three-pointer on the way. Too short. Rebound. Lauren Morris takes away from her teammate. And Angel Galbraith to Rios. Rios to the bucket, lays it in.
Morris with good vision. Rios running the floor, gets rewarded.
Now it's Paula Perez Mendoza. She'll go all the way, and she lost that one. Ooh. I didn't see where that hit Sarah Lamette. I thought that was just lost by Perez Mendoza.
Good number of the Saints bench were pointing Saints ball.
as this one is blocked by Sarah Lamette. She got just enough of it. Now kicked out. I think the shot clock inadvertently reset as the three-pointer is off the mark as Emma McKinney hit the deck on it. Now it's Galbraith to the hole. She missed the shot, but Sarah Lamette grabs it out of the air and puts it back for the first Saints lead of the night.
We saw a lot of Sarah Lamette in the last homestand. Good things happen when you feed Sarah the ball.
Yeah, Christy Martin said, I'm just going to put her right into the fire. Enough with kind of letting the freshman have some growing pains. And right there, a freshman commits a foul as Kiana Rios will send the Nanooks to the line. 5:49 to go in this first quarter. First sub for UAF. As it'll be Sam Tolliver, another Washington native, one of two Washingtonians on the team. Tolliver is a graduate of Garfield High School.
Yeah, that's a name I know well. I've called a good number of Garfield basketball games.
Second free throw is off the mark, rebounded by Sarah Lamette. We're 7 apiece. Touchdowns in the early going. Rios with it, trying to work against a 2-3 zone that the Nanooks have set up. Back and forth on the top part of the arc, now finding high post. Lauren Morris puts it in and out. That elbow was wide open for Lauren Morris against the zone. Now Morris working on defense against Tolliver. It's a back and forth pass as it eventually is mishandled by Tolliver. Destiny Reimers couldn't put it where Tolliver won it, and it dribbles out of bounds. First sub on the way now for St. Martin's as Shanoa Louis checks out for freshman Avery Oster.
Neither team starting off very hot from the field. 37% for St. Martin's, 33% for Alaska.
Again in the 2-3 zone. Oster's smothered in the corner. This ball's knocked around until Tolliver gets it. Tolliver now against Morris. Tolliver misses the layup. Second chance, though, hauled down by UAF. Galbraith nearly gets a takeaway. Kick out. Too long. Rebound, Lauren Morris. Lauren Morris, her rebound numbers have been insane the last couple weeks as she's gotten 2 different double-doubles and scraped it a couple times since as she floats that one and can't get it to go. The shooter's touch not on with these two teams in the first quarter here.
Wide open.
And right as I say it, the good old reverse announcer's jinx for the UAF fans watching as Tolliver puts it in. And it's 10-7, Nanooks. Lauren Morrissey averaging nearly 7 rebounds a game, which of course does not lead the conference because there's a player called Samantha Bowman, but it's pretty good. 5 on the shot clock, kicked out to Rio. She needs to fire it. Does from long 2-point range. Missed offensive rebound. Oster gets it to Morris. Morris off glass and in. Good board by the dual bigs of Lamette and Oster. One of them will get credit for it, but Oster will get an assist as well as she got a nice dish to Lauren Morris, who's so dangerous from inside the key. This one's going to be uncontested to the rack as Kiana Rios couldn't get the around-the-back poke steal.
Couldn't draw a drive up much better. Freshman with a burst of speed in the lane.
12-9 with about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. We've moved pretty quickly here. Just 1 foul in quarter number 1. Oster rotates it around. Offense a little bit disheveled against the 2-3 zone, but now I think they're back into man-to-man. Oster puts it on the ground, and then again a pass not handled cleanly, nearly a steal. Galbraith with 3 on the shot clock. She flips it up, missed. Rebound gets to Galbraith. She misses again, and then it's hauled down by Fairbanks.
Multiple opportunities, got to convert.
And that's just good defense from Angel Galbraith, who was all over Emma McKinney, forces the turnover, and we will head to our first break of this contest. 12-9, Fairbanks has the lead over SMU. Back here, we have 2:37 left. It is 12-9 as Galbraith beats the press easily with one pass. Now Lamette out to the offense as they're setting up. Oster with it. Oster. She's looking inside, gets it to Lamette. Lamette puts it on the ground, flips up, can't go. Oster rebound. Oster off glass and in. Saints back within one.
Christy Martin getting good work down low. First 8 minutes of this ball game.
Fairbanks with it now. Screen set. Tolliver looking. And it's put in. And right back the other way, Rios answers. Minute and a half left in this first quarter. It's 14-13 as we get a foul called. Just the second foul this first quarter. None called on UAF thus far. And that was Galbraith's first that she's called for. Avery Oster is the only bench player we've seen for the Saints thus far. As it looks like Maya Hatchett-Gross will step off the bench right as I say that. This one's flipped up. Good move to put it in by Destiny Reimers. Taken away now. Behind the back. Oh, tried to go with one, just stay on the left hand and flip that in. Then that pass is high, but still received and missed. Rebound pulled away by UAF, and the counted and the foul. Emma Wass puts it in. And she'll have one shot at the line. Shanoa Louie, Maya Hatchett-Gross, and Eternity Reed all check in to relieve three freshmen, Lamette, Oster, and Rios. The veterans on this team now, Galbraith and Lauren Morris, they will stay on the floor. Back in full court D are the Nanooks. Seem to beat it before it is then plucked away, stolen, and this press has forced some turnovers. Lauren Morris, though, right back, forces her own turnover. Oh, she just walked big time. Took about 10 steps there. And the last one seemed to get the attention of the officials as they call her for the travel.
Morris had the right idea. She didn't have numbers, was going to slow it up, wait for reinforcements, but too many steps.
Just need a jump stop there, and The feet were skipping behind her as Fairbanks is going to run down the clock. There is a 5-second differential between game and shot right now. So the Saints, in theory, if they get a defensive rebound or if it's made, they should have some sort of chance. Well, they'll just have this. Angel Galbraith, takeaway, and the pick 6 to lay it in with 10 seconds left. Now they'll try and force it coming up the floor. Will Fairbanks lost, received, and then put up and missed. As Fairbanks with that turnover with about 13 seconds left, then Galbraith took it the distance, laid it up and in. Instead of going up with a nice 6+ point lead, they go up 4. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back for the second quarter. It's 19-15 after 1.
John is a faithful navigator for Assembly 1183 of the Knights of Columbus. These 4th-degree Knights are donating the proceeds from their annual golf tournament, the Bernie Tourney, to the Bernie Drive Scholarship benefiting St. Martin's student athletes. The Bernie Tourney honors Master Sergeant Bern Degan, who was killed in action in Afghanistan in 2006. St. Martin's University is grateful to the long support of the Knights, both for this donation and for their other charitable works with the university. Thank you to the Knights of Columbus.
St. Martin's University Saints are proud to be the hometown team of Thurston County. Partnering with Saints Athletics is a terrific way to enhance your business's profile and support all 15 intercollegiate athletics programs. To learn more about possible sponsorship and advertising opportunities with Saints Athletics, please contact Director of Athletics Steve O'Brien at 360-688-2855. Again, Steve O'Brien at 360-688-2855. We are ready to go in quarter number 2 as the ball is inbounded to Galbraith. And the Saints have it now, the 5 on the floor for SMU. It's Galbraith, Morris, Reed, Hatchet Gross, and Shanoa Louie, who is currently being trapped in the corner. She just flings that one up there. Wild pass ends up being grabbed by the Saints. And Lauren Morris gets off a bunny. She misses it. Rebound to Eternity Reed. And then it's out off of Reed, who's trying to avoid the jump ball. Instead will get the turnover. In that first quarter,
one of the higher scoring quarters we have seen in women's basketball this early season. I say early, we're almost to February, mid-season for sure.
And it was just a kind of a flurry at the end as this one's a three-pointer put too long. And a beautiful play. That was a beautiful play by number 15, Jada Van Dyke. The Utah native leaped at that one, threw it back in, and plunked it off the lower body of a Saint. Earns her team another possession. It did not hit the rim, though. The three-pointer didn't. So it will be no reset of the shot clock. Immediately looking for a shot, and now let's hope they realize that they got a shot clock winding down, as this one is a bad pass, intercepted, going to the Saints. Galbraith all the way. She's fouled.
Strong drive by Galbraith. Team down 4. Just try to cut into that at the line.
42% field goal percentage from the Saints, or from the Nanooks in that first quarter. On the other side, it was 41% from the Saints.
First free throws coming up for St. Martin's.
Yeah, no fouls called on Alaska Fairbanks in that first, I don't think. We've had a pretty keep it playing type game, which if you've listened to any Saints broadcast, you know I'm a fan of. As both free throws are made by Galbraith, the GNAC leader in free throws taken. Louie battling on the low block with Silva. Silva got her dribble back, turnaround, gets it to go. Lead back to 4. Back to 2-3 for the Nanooks. This one's into Hatchet Gross, who's spinning. Galbraith now from distance splashes it home.
Christy Martin just stands there like she knew it was going in the whole time.
21-20. To the rack, and a late whistle will send the Nanooks to the line. That's Destiny Reimers, the sophomore from Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage will be the team that heads to Marcus Pavilion on Saturday as we have another doubleheader of SMU men's and women's basketball in just a few days. Reimers goes off back iron on the first. Still could put it to a 2-point lead. Reimers fourth on this team. She averages 9.6 points per game. She's shooting 61% from the charity stripe. Misses both. And the Saints can now take the lead with a bucket. What a look from Angel Galbraith, who found Maya Hatchett-Gross just too good of a look, and she was right under the basket. Now another time where Angel Galbraith can find an open player, but just too much put on it. That one a little bit in front of the shot, and a missed shot has us going the other way. Maya Hatchett-Gross now under the bucket. Sarah Lamette will get it, pull up, and miss it.
Lamette's shot a little flat, skimmed off the rim.
This one's Tolliver from downtown, and she makes it rain.
Sam Tolliver, we've seen it here so far in the first half. She can drop it from deep. That's 2 threes already.
She is the only UAF player to make a three-pointer. Saints are throwing the ball hard at each other right now, as this is Eternity Reed from distance. Not necessarily the player that you expect to shoot in a lot from distance, but she missed that one off back iron, and then they're going to call a foul on the Saints there. I thought that one was a jump ball. I didn't even look at the ref because I just assumed it was going to be a jump ball, but they call a foul on Maya Hatchett-Gross, her first.
Alaska coming into this one, dropping 2 straight. Both teams looking for their second conference victory.
Rios takes it away. Bad passes by both sides have led to unnecessary turnovers. This one's cross court. Now down to Lamette. Lamette double teamed, and a quick whistle to call the foul on Reimers there. I feel just with some of these foul calls, we're not the same in the first quarter. We only had 2 total fouls in the first, and we've doubled that with less than 4 minutes gone. Saints scoreless in the last 2 minutes or so. Galbraith with it, trying to correct that. Over to Rios. Back to Galbraith. 7 on the shot clock. Galbraith to the rack, tries to loop it up and in, cannot do it successfully. This is McKinney with it. McKinney fouled. Nearly put it up through the basket, but the wrong way. And now McKinney, the leader in points per game on this Alaska Fairbanks squad, will step up to the line. She's shooting 82%, one of the best free throw shooters in the GNAC. Makes the first one down. It's 25-20. Ryan Clear just checked in for the first time. Clear, the only preseason all-conference selection for the Saints. And her season has not panned out as expected. A big part of that is the injuries that she's struggled with since preseason. But she comes out there and she grinds away for a couple minutes when she can step out, but that's a turnover for the Saints. Sarah Lamette nearly takes that one away. There was a wide open UAF player on the right block, but not found by Silva. Now looped up and missed, maybe a block on it. As Rios ends up collecting it, getting it to Galbraith. Galbraith nearly travels to Clear, then Morris, then Rios, and back to Clear. Nice find from Ryan Clear to get that one to Sarah Lamette, who has an easy layup.
That's there all evening if they can find it.
Now bringing it down is McKinney. Finding Silva. Silva trying to work on the freshman, nearly taken away by Galbraith. Now Galbraith will go with the double team. They get it off, though, to the Washingtonian Johnson, who misses it. And a jump ball is called, and yeah, you might have been able to hear in our microphone Christy Martin letting him know about that one, because I think she's trying to say that one was the exact same as the foul that was called on Hatchet Gross.
If you're going to call it, that's fine. Just call it the same.
Yep. Coaches always, especially early in a game, when they get a call like that they disagree with, they kind of just put it in their back pocket, and then a travel called right there. The referee, however, did take exception to the bench calling it before he did, as we love a little testiness in the early going, don't we?
Each team with 7 points in the quarter.
Rios drives cross court. Ryan clear. Can't get it to fall. Offensive board from Rios, and she puts it back in. Not really known for reaching over players and putting it back, but Kiana Rios, the 5'9" freshman, doing just that, bringing the Saints within 2. And there you see the presence of Sarah Lamette, causing some havoc in the middle. She's cleared out of the paint, however, and it's put in by Paolo Perez Mendoza. That's a clear reach on Perez Mendoza. And that is time for our media timeout here midway through the second. It is 28-24, UAF in front. Back here, we have 4:16 to go in the second quarter. 3 fouls apiece after we went to the break because of a Perez Mendoza foul. Perez Mendoza, by far the Alaska Fairbanks player who has traveled the longest to get to Fairbanks, Alaska. She comes from Bayamon, Puerto Rico, which
Talk
is
about the culture shock.
Yeah.
I mean, you think it'd be cold for us,
Yeah.
but you're coming from Puerto Rico?
Trading in the beach for the snow, as that reverse layup is missed by Sarah Lamette.
And there's a lot of water up there, too.
Yeah.
You can find a beach.
Yeah, you can find a beach. You can find a beach.
Just not a warm one.
The water might be ice. As jump ball we got there. Well, it's funny, you know, our GA and our stats center, Ibrahim Mustafa, he graduated from the University of Alaska Fairbanks, and he was up there over the winter break when that cold streak swept through the U.S. And, you know, it was freezing in St. Louis and everybody was freaking out, and, you know, rightfully so, because a lot of the country isn't used to that. And he was home in Fairbanks looking at the headlines as Lamette gets fouled, and he was saying, this is just a regular day in Fairbanks. We're just chilling when it's the same temperature here. So all of you Alaska fans up there watching, I know, even as a Montana guy, I know you're built different up there, because there's long nights and not a lot of warm stretches over these winter months. Lamette knocks down the first free throw.
Alaska's a place I've never been.
I was just about to ask you that. Never been. But you've called plenty of Alaska basketball, just all in the lower 48.
Let's take a road trip, Scott.
We have Alaska Fairbanks with it now, up 2. Speaking of my Montana-ness, a Montana native is on the floor.
Cannot leave Tolliver that wide open, even though she did miss.
There's a foul called on Alaska Fairbanks. And that's Emma Wass. She traded in Montana for Alaska right there. She's Manhattan, Montana, which is a trick name because it's quite the opposite.
Nothing like the Manhattan.
Not Manhattan, New York. I'm sure maybe somebody in Emma's family is watching. And yeah, I played in a basketball tournament in Manhattan. They have a nice gym, Manhattan High School. But that's about all I've done in Manhattan. As it is near one of the most popular towns in Montana, Bozeman. A town that has got a good amount of tourist attraction because of Yellowstone. Good old Bozeman. The park and the show, I should say. But the show has definitely blown up Montana as a tourist destination. There's Wass off back iron. And the Manhattan kid puts it in. Angel Galbraith pulls up at the three-point line. They'll give Lauren Morris plenty of room to shoot from just inside the free throw line. She puts it back within 2. Here's the thing. UAF has led for all but a minute of this game. They've led for 90% of this game as we got a foul called on the Saints. But they just haven't been able to kick it into that extra gear. It's been 2 or 4 most of the game for UAF as they kind of just have been exchanging buckets back and forth. That was Galbraith that was called for the foul there. She is coming off the floor. If it were up to Christy Martin, Angel Galbraith would not leave the hardwood. But because of the 2 fouls, she does not want to see her star pick up a third, as this one is put off of the iron, the backboard, and then goes down the hatch. Lauren Morris with it, out to Rios. Now Rios drives. She nearly fumbled over her feet there. Ryan Clear looked hard at the basket. Tried to put it in, but got fouled.
Strong drive by Clear. You'd hope she would be a little closer on the shot, but the foul may have altered that.
Clear will get a chance at the line. Despite the injury struggles and the limited minutes due to injury, she still is 4th on this team with 7.8 points per game. Makes her first free throw there. We'll get a chance to now draw it back within 2, and she does. Stolen by Hatchet Gross. And stolen right back.
Nice pass.
Nifty little pass. That was Paulo Perez Mendoza who just kind of scooped that one to her teammate, and she gets a notch on the highlight reel. Patrick Gross with it now. She's taking over some of the point guard duties in the absence of Angel Galbraith. This is Shanoa Louie who gets that one partially blocked before it is kept alive by Hatchet Gross. Coming the other way now, the kick out. McKinney stepped out.
Both teams have to be pleased with their offense so far this evening. Alaska averaging 70 per game. St. Martin's 61. Both teams are right there. Should be above it by the time we hit halftime.
We'll see as Lauren Morris pulls up, makes it go down, back to 2 and 4. That's been the difference most of this game, with Alaska Fairbanks ahead for 90% of it. Poked away by Hatchet Gross. It'll dribble out of bounds. The Saints do not have a foul to give. If they commit a foul, it'll send the Nanooks to the line as UAF will put it back into action. Alaska with 15 on the shot clock, 50 on the game clock. Silva sets a good hard screen. They switch on the screen, and that one is called a moving screen as Rios took a shot, and now she's working out her elbow. But a big turnover there with 46.6 to go.
Alaska went for not one, but 2 screens on that offensive set. Apparently one of them illegal.
Rios for 3. That would have been the first Saints lead in a while as, I don't know about that one. Did you have a better angle than I did there, Sean? That one looked like Shanoa Louis was kind of half-heartedly had one hand on the ball, and it was called a jump ball. I feel like there's just some inconsistency with the jump balls. We've seen some fouls called, and then maybe it wasn't, and vice versa, as 4-second differential between game and shot, and for the second time in a row, it's nearly lost, as another jump ball will go to the Saints. This is the second time, 2 quarters in a row, where Alaska has tried to dribble their final possession down and lost it. The last one resulted in an Angel Galbraith layup. This one will result in a jump ball turnover. Saints could tie the game or take the lead going into the locker room. Angel Galbraith will step on the floor with 2 fouls, but Christy Martin not too worried about her star picking up a 3rd offensively. I'm sure she knows that Angel knows not to do anything too aggressive. As we got 7 on the game clock. Pass to Morris. Morris will drive. Morris puts it up high off glass. Doesn't go. Tipped around. Ryan Clear. And it doesn't go for Clear as she nearly committed a charge on that one. The Saints will have a 2-point deficit going into the locker room. Quick hits from the first half. Sean, what'd you think?
These teams don't look like they're 1-6. Yeah. Nice offensive output. A lot of jump balls. We'll see if that changes in the second half. But 34-32, both coaches have something to smile about.
Christy Martin and Amy Donovan both clawing from their teams to get out of here with a win. Who will emerge? Well, we'll see you on the other side of halftime to figure that out. Be sure to stick around if you're interested. Watch the Pints Doghouse halftime show. Well, competition. It'll be interesting. First time ever. So feel free to keep an eye on that. But Sean and I are going to take a break. We'll be right back to bring you the second half of GNAC women's basketball from Marcus Pavilion.
the score on Johnson and Judy. Next up, we have Justin, August, and Daniel. Are you ready? Set. Go! There's one. Short. Enough to overcome the huge lead by Johnson and Judy, who win with 4 home hot dogs into the bucket. So they will get a gift certificate to the brand new Mike's Doghouse. It's coming soon. Thank you for participating in the first hot dog swing shot presented by Mike's Doghouse.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to beautiful Lacey, Washington. 34-32 is our halftime score, with the visiting Alaska Nanooks in front of the hometown St. Martin's Saints. Scott Gladstone and Sean Wally here to bring you half number 2. Sean, that first half, I mentioned it a couple times. It was either a 4-point lead for Alaska or a 2-point lead for Alaska. It was a pretty good kind of what was happening, just kind of back and forth, bucket, bucket, bucket. What stuck out to you in that first half?
Well, overall, it was a high-scoring game for these two teams and fairly well played. Shooting could be better for both squads, but really it's 34-32. Leading scorers, we've got Sam Tolliver leading the way with 10 for Alaska, the only person in double figures. Kiana Rios leads the way for St. Martin's with 9 as we get underway third quarter.
Yeah, something to mention, a big part of their win against Simon Fraser was Shanoa Louie exploding for 16 as this three-pointer is on the way, and down the hatch, that is number 30, Emma McKinney, to come right out of the gate. She's the leading scorer for Alaska, so her 2 points in the first half were kind of a shock, but she's a little bit back on track with that 3-ball to start. Nice find from Galbraith as Sarah Lamette puts it in. Nearly got a foul on that one as well. She got some contact. But like I was saying, Shanoa Louie broke out for 16 in that win over Simon Fraser, and she was a big part of the reason why the Saints held off the Red Leafs. This three-pointer is long. Good box out from Sarah Lamette, but then she's knocked to the ground as that one goes out off of the Saints.
Apparently Amy Donovan for Alaska has drawn up, hey, shoot the 3-ball. That's what they've done the first 2 times down. And that first make here in the third quarter, first 3-ball made by someone other than Tolliver.
That shot is missed by Johnson. Now it's McKinney with it. They're going to pull it out. They got a reset of the shot clock, so they got 15 on the shot clock. Then McKinney to the bucket, flips it off glass.
4 points for McKinney.
This one's Rios running by McKinney. Now Morris gets it down low to Sarah Lamette. Lamette off glass. Man, sometimes I don't even know. She just kind of turns around, flips it up, and it's perfect on the mark.
Just how Coach drew it up at halftime.
39-36 as this one's deflected and it goes out. Couldn't be handled cleanly by Perez Mendoza. As Sarah Lamette's going to check out right away after getting the first 2 buckets for the Saints. Sarah Lamette right now 3 for 4 from the field. And she also has 2 free throws successfully made. That's the reason for her 10 points now leading the Saints in scoring. Morris lost it. Retrieved by Silva. She puts it up to Perez Mendoza. Perez Mendoza, the flip to Johnson, who can't get it to go. Rebound, Shanoa Louie.
I think Galbraith got a piece of that on the shot. Ooh.
And that was Perez Mendoza that reached in on Galbraith, and Galbraith went down hard. But, I mean, first thing Christy Martin will tell you about Angel Galbraith is her toughness. And she'll tell you that along with all the other qualities that Galbraith brings in terms of her basketball IQ and, of course, the scoring and passing ability. But Galbraith, she's used to playing 40 minutes, limited a little bit by the second foul she took in the second, but she will play as close to 40 as she can every single game. Louie to the bucket, floats it, and it's home.
She had a step on Johnson, took her baseline, 1-point game.
Now McKinney guarded by Rios. Floated up and missed. Rebound, Louie. A foul is called on Kayla Johnson there. That one, I did not know what was going to be the call with that, whether it was going to be a jump or a foul. Goes against the Federal Way Washington freshman Johnson for her first foul of the day. Nearly stolen by Tolliver, who's on the floor now for Fairbanks. Rios gets a touch before getting it to Galbraith. Now it's back to Rios. They're running the high-low right now with Morris at the elbow and the low block by Oster, who Oster grinds for the offensive board. Kicks it to Rios, blocked. That was Silva coming out to grab the block, and a huge play against a player that can shoot in Rios. This floater is too long. Rebound goes to Galbraith, put up ahead to Louis. Louis puts it in. The Saints have the lead. McKinney went down there for a second, and it looked like maybe Lauren Morris might have been pointing her out that she went down, but she popped right up, and she did so at the worst moment where the fast break was beating Fairbanks down the floor. Silva lost it at her feet, gets it back, then turns around, counted in the foul for Silva.
Back and forth we go.
We said it right at you said it right at the end of that first half, right before we went into the halftime break. Both of these teams look at this game as one that they need to have. Amy Donovan knows that this is her chance to kind of start to turn around the ship of Fairbanks women's basketball. Let's pick up this win. Let's pick up a few others. They had a huge win over Alaska Anchorage, and that's their only GNAC conference win of the season. But a win on the road here would be big as well for UAF. And
wow,
as that one
no call.
Blocked, I guess. It looked like it was more elbow than ball on the contact, but no call against Galbraith as UAF has it now. Silva. She drives and puts it in. She missed that free throw to not convert her and one last time, but that is a very strong move to the glass to put the Nanooks back up 3. Bad pass by Oster gets intercepted by Reimers. Reimers now weaving up the court. Finds Johnson, who puts it in.
What a pass. What a strong layup to not get deterred by the Saints defense. Johnson there.
Galbraith with it. Throws it to Rios in the corner. Rios needs it to go but can't get it to go. Saints, since going up 40-39, it's 6 straight points from Alaska. Silva's been a big part of it. She pulls up, makes it go. 8 straight from Fairbanks. And Ellen Silva, a huge part of it, the Fairbanks native.
Sophomore feeling it here halfway through quarter number 3.
That one plucked away from Shanoa Louis, but Angel Galbraith fortunately gets it back for the Saints. Then pulls up from 3, missed, rebound Silva. Reimers caught, and the ball was taken out of her hands, but a very, very quick jump ball call by a referee right on top of it. Whew. Well, jump ball, and we have a timeout. It is 47-40 on the Saints Digital Network. We'll be right back. Back here, 4:42 left to go in the third quarter. It's 47-40. And as of right now, the Saints, they went up 40-39. Since then, it's been Silva and the rest of Fairbanks doing plenty of damage, holding SMU off the board in the last 2 minutes and 5 seconds and going on an 8-0 run. They have a 7-point lead now, but after that jump ball that Shanoa Louis helped cause, it is an inbounds for St. Martin's.
Largest lead of the evening for Alaska Fairbanks.
Foul called on the Nanooks. Three fouls on Perez Mendoza. Checking back in is Emma McKinney. McKinney might have some family or friends, if not at this game, down at their game on Saturday when they'll play down at Western Oregon in Monmouth. She is a Springfield, Oregon native. Cross-court pass, nobody's home.
Thought it was coming to you, Scott.
Yeah, that one was closer to me than it was to any Saint. As student section, about half full right now. More fans are percolating in post-dinner. McKinney with it. Foul called on the Saints. I believe they'll get Morris with a reach. Yes, they will. McKinney looking to inbound. She's taken a long time, nearly got to 5 seconds. This one's into Silva. They'll let her do some work on Eternity Reed. And a shoulder check, no call, but it will be a missed shot by Silva, who was put off by the contact. There's a strong screen by Lauren Morris, who traveled after she got the ball. Amy Donovan wanted the foul on one side and then was trying to get the call on Lauren Morris there, but I'll tell you what, that was a really good screen. Looked like feet set and just her tensing up for the contact. That was the movement, trying to make sure that she didn't do too much damage to herself or her competitor there from Fairbanks, who did not have the screen called out for her.
Saints now scoreless in over 3 minutes.
They need something offensively as Tolliver gets it. She's creating some offense for the Nanooks and puts in a tough shot from under the basket. Lead up to 9 for Fairbanks. A 10-0 run sends going down 40-39. Rios, can she be the spark the Saints need? Galbraith will drive, and somehow that one stayed inbounds as maybe a deflected shot, then off the bottom of the backboard, then received. Big three on the way. The Fairbanks section would have gone nuts if that one would have gone down, but instead the offensive rebound is eventually put out of bounds by Jada Van Dyke. Jada Van Dyke, transfer from Independence Community College. I know Independence Community College from Last Chance U. Season 3 and 4 were in Independence in the middle of, I think it was Independence, Kansas. Whole lot of nothing around Independence, Kansas. That's what I got from Last Chance U, season 3 and 4.
So the video crew might have doubled or tripled the town population.
Yeah, it was one of those type. As Sarah Lamette, another perfect find from Angel Galbraith. Breaks up the drought at 3:48. Nearly 4 minutes without scoring. Good ball rotation, fine Tolliver, but she misses it. Hatchet Gross now with it. Saints trying to claw back from their largest deficit of the evening, which is 9. Ryan Clear can't get it to go. Follows her shot. Travel.
Traveling? I could see a
An
charge
off-
possible,
yeah.
but traveling? Wow.
She kind of had a funky type Euro step, but maybe just the referee on top of it saw her receive that ball at a different point than you or I saw it. As the Saints will put on the press now, trying to cause some havoc from this young Fairbanks squad. Two teams with a lot of youth on this side, as McKinney will over Lamette put that one in from three-point land. Huge shot from Emma McKinney. Weaving around, taking a foul, count it. And one for Angel Galbraith.
A good answer by the Saints. After that 3 getting down 10, things not looking great. Galbraith trying to grab that momentum back.
Yeah, we're starting to get to that moment late in the third quarter. Wait, Okay, and no, she made the free throw, and then nobody did anything like they were expecting another one, but Ryan Clare said, no, it was only one shot. You guys get to take it out now. Confusing me a little bit on that one as this one's put into the low block. It goes onto the floor, and then a foul is called. Oh, what? Kiana Rios had that ball, and then she got the foul called on her. I don't know what's going on sometimes, but
it's good to admit.
that one, certainly, if I was Christy Martin, I would not be happy with. Then the Nooks get it back. Tolliver kind of runs over Galbraith. Ooh. Then a little bit of a push-off there. Nothing called still. Weaving around is Reimers. 5 on the shot clock. McKinney throws her head back, gets the foul call. A couple games ago, during a women's game, I think I was questioning why we hadn't seen any flopping calls on the women's side. I double-checked the rule book. It was only the men's committee that instituted that flopping rule of kind of one flop, and it's a technical foul free throw. As this is a block by Sarah Lamette, then out off of Fairbanks. So that is the reason. And for those who watch the men's game, I am sometimes in disagreement with the flopping call. But I do think it is kind of weird that the women's committee has said it just doesn't exist on the women's side, because it does. You know, maybe it's not as egregious all the time, but it does. But they have decided against it, which is kind of an interesting ripple in the rules if you watch both men's and women's college basketball like we do. Kick out, Rios misses the shot. That was wide open from Rios, maybe too open almost. A foul on either side would result in free throws here in the final minute. Fast break being pushed up. It's Hatchet Gross that can't get it to fall. And then out off of the Saints. 7-point lead. It's been that way ever since the and one from Angel Galbraith, as neither side has been able to find a bucket in the last minute and change. McKinney with it. As I'm sure Fairbanks is going to try and bleed this clock down a little bit, as they've done with the last couple quarters, and nearly get it stolen again. And a whistle is called out of bounds. And Alaska, for the third quarter in a row, has had a turnover when they're trying to run the clock down for not a last shot, but a close to last shot. And now the Saints will try and do that.
Shot clock is off.
Rios loads up, can't get it to go. And now there's 10 seconds left for Fairbanks. And they're coming down on a fast break. Poked out. Up ahead. Long pass. And now it's Rios getting it back, and she puts it in as the buzzer goes off. That was a huge lead that was dropped out for Angel Galbraith. Galbraith got it back, and instead of trying to loop some circus shot in, she turned around, realized she had a couple seconds, got it to Rios, who put it in a huge bucket. We'll see if it matters in the fourth, because we got a 5-point game, 10 minutes to go. Don't go anywhere on the Saints Digital Network. 10 minutes ago, it is 52-47. Scott Gladstone with you. Sean Wally alongside me. Sean, 10 minutes left, 5-point game. We saw Alaska maybe start to put the game in a stranglehold for a second there, but then the Saints finished that third quarter on a run of their own, and it's anybody's ball game here in the fourth. Nice step through from Silva there to put that one in.
Silva versus Lamette, something we could see for years to come here in the GNAC.
Yeah, Silva, a sophomore out of Fairbanks, a transfer from the rival school, Alaska Anchorage. Sarah Lamette, true freshman out of the state of Oregon. Ball dropped into Lamette. Misses the first one, gets it back and puts it in. Man, I'll tell you what, Sarah Lamette is continuing to develop as a player, and you see it right there. Even when she didn't have the perfect positioning, missed it with that left-handed drop step, and then gets the rebound as we get an offensive foul here. An illegal screen on Emma McKinney. Down low. Big turnover.
Lamette has the size advantage, 6'4" versus 6'1" on Silva.
Saints with it now. Galbraith to the bucket, blocked by Silva.
Gosh. Silva versus Lamette. Down the stretch we come.
That one's stolen by Galbraith. She just waited for that one. And then the dish, missed, rebound, Lamette. That's a strong rebound from the freshman. Now she wants it on the low block.
Get it to her. She was open.
Oh, she's feeling it right now, too.
No
Put
way.
it in. Put it in.
She's behind the backboard, wasn't she?
She said it was not an angle that you usually see shots go in from, but she missed the ball hitting the backboard. The Saints are within a possession. Lamette and Silva, you almost don't even care to watch the ball. You just want to watch them battle on the post down there. McKinney trying to get a screen from Silva. Help defense, and it wasn't Lamette that committed the foul. It was Rios that reached in. Right now, they are each the leading point scorers for their team. Well, not anymore. Silva just got jumped by Tolliver, but Sarah Lamette has 16 for the Saints, along with 5 rebounds and a block. Silva on the other side, she's got 11 and 6 with 3 blocks. Ball thrown in to Silva. Three-pointer put up. It's an air ball. And then it's going to be a truck stick called on Destiny Reimers, who was in the less than optimal position on Ryan Clear, who had a perfect box out on her. Then Reimers just kind of plowed over the box out.
It's 2 straight possessions for Alaska where they've committed offensive fouls. Saints took advantage last time. Will they again?
Lauren Morris with it. Morris looking for options. Ryan Clear gets it down low to Lamette. Double teamed. Ball rotated around. Still rotating. Then down to Morris. Morris now guarded by Silva, so that means they got a mismatch with
4 to
Lamette.
shoot.
Galbraith needs to do something with it, and she does. She flips it up with a backspin and makes it roll.
Saints were once down 10.
They all of a sudden have new life, as that was just McKinney being way too lackadaisical. Ryan Clear now heads up the fast break. Clear pokes it in. The Saints are in front. Timeout, Alaska Fairbanks. An 8-0 run by SMU. And they have the lead. Yeah, you said it. It was once Fairbanks with the driver's seat possession of the game, and now it is anybody's ball game. A 1-point lead for the Saints, 6:55 to go. You're watching the Saints Digital Network. 6:55 to go, 55-54. Head coach Amy Donovan in her first season calling a timeout there to allow her Nanooks squad to reset a little bit, figure it out after some offensive possessions where they struggled, as that one somehow goes in. Nearly a travel by Reimers, off balance with some contact, puts it through the bottom of the net. Big shot and a much needed shot for Alaska. Ryan Clear with it. She had the bucket to put the Saints in front. This is now Rios, who's rejected out of bounds.
Gotta love how both teams are cooking hot right now, turning up the temperature. Somebody is getting that second conference win.
Lauren Morris, she does what she can, but it does not go in for her. It's one that almost feels automatic when Lauren Morris gets a decent look from that distance. Now it's Silva back battling with Lamette. Silva blocked clean from Lamette. Now it's a 5-on-4 the other way. Can the Saints take advantage before Silva gets into it? Not on that possession. Silva gets back, and this inbounds will be back to 5-on-5. Lamette will inbound. Usually you see Galbraith do the inbounding duties for the Saints. Looks down low to Lauren Morris. She'll reset to Galbraith. Now it's Ryan Clear. Ryan Clear taking over a little bit now. We're seeing some of that Ryan Clear that Christy Martin has been waiting to heal and expose itself. Couple of those moments here in the fourth from one of her veteran returners. Nearly taken away there as Johnson put it in the breadbasket of Rios. Then she ends up putting it on the floor, getting by and putting it up and in. Saints have given up the lead to Alaska once again. It is seesaw here, like it has been all game, but it's been seesaw with a slight teeter towards Alaska. Now it's completely back and forth. Ryan Clear dials it up from distance. A huge shot to put the Saints up 2.
Clear leaving the right hand up as she knocks the three.
Silva, she cannot answer. Offensive board goes to Fairbanks, but it's taken away by Galbraith. Now Galbraith with the Nanook on her back. She still finds a way to convert, put it off glass. 62-58 with 4.5 minutes to go. It's a 2-possession lead as now Alaska needing a big shot, and Tolliver goes to the deck but gets the call.
St. Martin's picked a good time for their largest lead of the game, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, if there's ever a time you want it to be the most recent part of the game, right? 4.5 to go. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back for an exciting conclusion of GNAC women's basketball from Marcus Pavilion. It's Tolliver shooting 2 here as we are back with 4:32 to go. Big shots from Sam Tolliver. First one goes in.
Tolliver now with 13 on the evening. Product of Garfield High School in Seattle.
70% free throw shooter on the season. And makes the second. 62-60. The Saints in their game up at Simon Fraser. They made their free throws down the stretch. It was a big reason for their first win in Canada since 2011. Hard screen by Lauren Morris. Look around. Eternity Reed nearly shuffled her feet there, but escapes unscathed. Now with 10 on the shot clock. It's Angel Galbraith. Bustin' moves at the elbow. Goes to the rack, and it's out of bounds with 4 on the shot clock. Going to be a big inbounds play here for the Saints. Trying to keep a little bit of a cushion for themselves. Into Ryan Clear. Can't stay hot as she misses the three-pointer just off the mark. But it's a good sign in general as Tolliver fires, can't get it to go. And a jump ball is called. Kiana Rios never really had dual possession of that, but she had.
It's like, what are you calling a jump ball on? Not that I want to see a foul on the Saints, but the jump ball is supposed to be you're both holding the basketball, and that was not the case.
It looked like there was contact. There was skin on
there
ball
was
from
an
Kiana
attempt
Rios. There was
to grab the
maybe
basketball.
both of her forearms were there and kind of rubbed by it, but yeah, I do not know about dual possession, but we've been talking about jump balls all game. They become way too much of a focal point of this contest. Ryan Clear had that one poked out from behind. Great defense as Eternity Reed hits the deck, but now she's back up and recovered. But it's going to be a wide open streak to the basket by Reimers. Offensive foul. Wow.
What about the restricted area?
Well, I thought I mentioned it plenty with Lauren Morris. She is one of the grittiest players on this SMU squad. She's one of the grittiest players on this SMU squad, and she went down really easy there, I think clearly trying to draw a foul. And, you know, I mentioned it when I thought maybe the Saints would have got a flopping call, but say it right back. There's definitely calls that you see plenty of times on the women's side that if they were playing by the men's rules, there'd be flops. But that one wouldn't have been because they called it an offensive foul and they stuck with it. Eternity Reed from a long distance. Can't get it to go. Ryan Clear nearly pokes it to Lauren Morris, and then it's stolen by Clear.
Dive.
And the ball is out of bounds. Oh, no. We got a timeout on the floor right before it. Timeout on the floor, I think. Lauren Morris didn't call it. I was waiting for her to call it. You didn't see it there, did you? I think it was Chrissy Martin they're calling a timeout. So they're giving the Saints the possession there.
I'm wondering if they might review that to see what happened first.
Yeah, I don't, is that reviewable? They are going to go look at the monitor. Do we have a replay of that one, Sydney? Do we have a replay of that one? Do we have a clip? Okay, no clip of that one from up here. I'm surprised that they didn't look back. Didn't look at the monitor there. Head coach Amy Donovan didn't implore them to. And now they are going to look at the monitor for this one. So while that happens, we're going to take a break, but a huge call upcoming to see whether it was timeout first or out of bounds first. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Saints Digital Network. So we do not have a change of possession. Maybe that's not even what they were reviewing, as Ryan Clear has that one go in and out. Offensive rebound, Rios, and she puts it in. Before I can even fill you in on what was just reviewed, it was a double technical issued against Lauren Morris and Paula Perez Mendoza.
Reimers. They changed it. He said Reimers after
Okay,
he said.
okay. This is Reimers on the low block. She puts it in.
Wow.
And it goes down. Wow, what a big shot from Reimers. So an and one, and we're going to have a free throw there, but I didn't see whatever broke out after that timeout was called. Maybe I was figuring out too much if a timeout was called in the first place, but there was something that caused the double technical to
Well, it had to be the scrum on the floor because those were the two involved.
Yeah. It didn't seem like it got that testy down there. Probably both players just kind of scrapping for the ball. Enough to get the foul on Lauren Morris and Reimers. And actually, as we that's Reimers' fourth foul, it says. And I think they're going back to say it was on Perez Mendoza because I think it would have been Reimers' fifth as this free throw is missed.
Lamette, the nice rebounds. Saints ball up 2.
Yeah, we'll figure out what the heck just happened there because they were playing with the fouls on the scoreboard, and we're in a less than optimal position, not at the scorer's table to hear what's going on. This one's kicked out. Rios nearly took that one. Now it's Lauren Morris, the turnaround. Gets it to go! Ring around the rosy. A huge shot, 66-62.
Lauren Morris shaking her finger at that ball. You better drop. Up 2 possessions is big.
And that one is called on Kiana Rios, who had that ball put right in her chest, and she said, well, I'll try and take it away, and then gets called for the foul. And the jump ball, reach in, whatever, seesaw that has continued just as much as the score has seesawed. That one goes against Kiana Rios, and it's her fourth. Man, we had 2 fouls called in the first quarter. The refs blew the whistle like 3 times total. And now Tolliver has a free throw, makes the first. 1 possession game.
Reimers and Perez Mendoza both have 4 for Alaska. Rios, the only one in foul trouble with 4 for St. Martin's.
Missed free throw, and Sarah Lamette's size comes up big again. No chance that anybody gets around her when she has a good box out on those free throws, so preventing extra possessions. It's a 3-point lead as hard defense from Jada Van Dyke. As now the Saints are happy to bleed the clock. Foul called on Van Dyke. And that will not reset the shot, or that will not send the Saints to the line just yet, which honestly the Saints are probably happier with. They can bleed 10 more seconds as there was about 10 on the shot clock when Galbraith took the foul, and now it goes up to 20. 1:16 to go, 66-63 is the score. For your information, the possession arrow, because we've seen that flipped a fair amount of times tonight, it right now is to Alaska Fairbanks. It is Saints ball. Neither team has a foul to give. All fouls going forward, unless they're offensive, will send a team to the line. In terms of foul trouble, we have quite a few, and they are key players. 2 starters on Alaska, Reimers and Perez Mendoza, have 4 fouls, and Kiana Rios has 4 fouls as well. So 3 players on the cusp of fouling out. Was has 3 for the Nanooks, and Lauren Morris has 3 for St. Martin's. The leader in points scored by either team right now is Sarah Lamette.
With 16.
She's got 16, yes, and it's kind of all over the place, but Tolliver off the bench has performed very admirably for the Nanooks.
Important to note, Alaska is in the bonus. Both teams in the bonus.
Both teams. Oh, and that was the 5th foul, actually. I think the scoreboard was off because it was saying that was only the 4th foul, so that actually should send Angel Galbraith to the line if what the refs are saying is correct. So Angel Galbraith, if I'm Christy Martin, I'm probably kind of mad because Christy Martin took a timeout to drop an inbounds play, and now you're saying, wait, I wasn't going to take timeouts for free throws. I'm kind of surprised she's not trying to bargain and ask for that back because of the scoreboard / book mistake. It was probably a scoreboard mistake more than the book, but 2 big free throws for Angel Galbraith. First one goes in. Don't know why they were playing the rebound. There is not 1-1 in the women's game. Another big free throw from Galbraith, and it's down. Saints have a 5-point lead.
With 2 minutes left in the third, St. Martin's was down 10. Now they're up 5.
Offensive foul as Ryan Clear goes down hard. Saints fans erupt in cheers for the call, but then realize that Ryan Clear is feeling it from that one. Don't know if it's the back injury that has continually plagued her or if she got something worse. She's kind of holding her neck right now. But man, she continues to just grind through it, and she's staying on the floor after taking a shot on that illegal screen. Defensive substitutions as 2 of the players, at least one of the players with 4 fouls, Reimers, comes off. The inbound goes to Kiana Rios. Now
Scary
Rios,
spot to pick up the dribble right near half court.
Yeah, she got into a bad scenario there. Now it's Ryan Clear as they're going to bring it out to Rios and get to bleed more valuable time off the clock. Galbraith was awfully close to that midway line. Poked away. Now 7 on the shot clock. 6, 5. Galbraith puts it up. It doesn't go.
Alaska has a shot.
Tolliver guarded by Ryan Clear. Tolliver needs to get a bucket to fall, but she doesn't take the shot there. This one's pulled up. Missed. Rebound Lauren Morris. And they have to intentionally foul now. They're down 5 with under 30 seconds to go, and it's Galbraith that will head to the line as Kayla Johnson commits the intentional foul.
I think for Alaska on that last possession, the right person to take the shot in Johnson, but not the shot she wanted. She was off balance, not set, and it just didn't fall.
And the thing is, Alaska, those first 3 quarters, especially when they were successful, they were taking some awkward shots, but getting them to go. I mean, they were wide open when they were kind of awkward. As Galbraith makes a huge free throw. And that was just, yeah, like you said, it was just kind of one of those awkward looks that just came off weird and a bad time to miss it. As this one rims out, Lauren Morris battling for the offensive board. And she commits. Oh, no. She doesn't commit the foul. Timeout by Alaska, so they'll advance the ball. Now 22.7 to go, 69-63. With this much time on the clock, less than 23 seconds, how much do you opt to draw up a play for a three-pointer or just try and score as quickly as possible, try and get the steal, and then foul? I mean, Alaska not necessarily known for their three-point ball. They do have some good shooters, and they shoot 34% from behind the arc.
If Tolliver has a look from 3, she's got to take it.
Yeah, you got to give it to her.
They're down 6.
Tolliver is 2 for 5 from three-point land. And McKinney also has 2 three-pointers. She's 2 for 7 from behind the arc. As this one is starting to close up, we do invite you to stick around. On our YouTube page, we'll have a separate link if you're a Fairbanks fan or a St. Martin's fan. You'll enjoy the next game as well as the SMU Saints men's basketball team takes on the Fairbanks men, a battle of the GNAC regular season champs and the GNAC tournament champs from last year. Although, as we mentioned at the top of this broadcast, that Fairbanks men's roster. I mean, as well as a good amount of the St. Martin's men roster. A fair change from last year, but especially some key players missing for Fairbanks. We'll talk about that at that broadcast, but let's finish this one up. 69-63, 22.7 to go. The ball is advanced to the front court for Alaska Fairbanks. As the inbound is drawn up for Reimers, they get it to Tolliver. Back to Tolliver, did not expect
much
that.
Time.
Yeah, you got to get something up quick. Long three-pointer, off the mark. Rebound goes to Lauren Morris. She gets fouled, and the Saints might have just had a fourth quarter come from behind victory sealed up.
Head coach Amy Donovan for Alaska's got to be wondering why her team took almost 10 seconds to shoot the basketball when you're down 6. She had to tell them, get something up quickly.
Free throw put in by Lauren Morris. Yeah, Amy Donovan in her first season as a head coach of the Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks. Lauren Morris makes both free throws, 71-63. Down the court. Johnson blocked, I believe, by Lamette. And a fitting end to a competition where Sarah Lamette, aged about a season and a half in the span of 40 minutes. She was a key part of the comeback. She also just kept the Saints in it when things weren't going their way. And in the end, I mean, there is a ton of players that you can highlight for different moments. But all around, the team brought it together and ensured the victory, Sean.
There's a famous head coach in professional sports says you cannot win the game until the fourth quarter. St. Martin's, 24 fourth quarter points. Alaska Fairbanks only 11. That is the difference in this ballgame.
A huge run put on by the host squad, and I'm sure all the pomp and circumstance, the mascot, the pep band, the student section, plenty of fun happening here at Marcus Pavilion. Help them get across the finish line. We will talk to Christy Martin shortly here, and then we got to flip over the broadcast for the men's game. But stick around just a minute or so. We'll talk to head coach Christy Martin after the big 71-63 win from St. Martin's University. Scott Gladstone here with head coach Christy Martin after the 71-63 victory. Coach, first off, I mean, you guys finally kind of, got over the hump of these close games that just things haven't gone your way in the end with that win last week in Canada. And then you turn around and, you kind of absorb some blows in the tough first three quarters. And then what can you say about that fourth quarter and just the toughness shown by the entire team?
We felt like if we could kind of keep it close in the first half and then like the third and fourth quarter start kind of bringing out what we've been working on against their zone, because their zone is really good and nobody else really runs a zone in conference, and theirs is really good. And so I knew that we would have a little bit of issues with it because we haven't faced one in an entire game, usually just in spurts. But I was just really pleased with the way that our team responded, especially in the fourth.
A player that we kind of haven't talked about as much this year mostly because of kind of her injury struggles is Ryan Clare. I think she was a big part of that comeback. She came in and you could tell when you saw, that Ryan Clare that we're used to seeing, and she took an offensive foul. She stayed on the floor. You could tell that, she's sometimes in a lot of pain when she's playing out there, but she's still fighting through it and made some big shots down the stretch. What do you say about Ryan, not just today, but all season, kind of just the toughness that she's had?
Yeah, I mean, without Ryan, we don't win that game. She was the spark that we needed off the bench where we were hitting lulls and we couldn't find the basket, and she went in and just did an amazing job of being confident, and we haven't seen her super confident. And I think that, this last week, her and I had a conversation, and I'm like, you're in so much pain, and you need to be able to heal. Like, your body is just, you need to be home and be able to heal and feel better. And so she did. She didn't go with us, in Simon Fraser and Western, and I think that time away gave her body a chance to recover, and we're hoping to see that Ryan the rest of the way out because she's stellar. She's so fun to watch.
Of course, when you're part of a team sport, especially like basketball, it has so many wins and losses and ups and downs. You kind of know how it feels to lose, and you kind of find a way to get through that. But now on a winning streak here in conference play and winning two big games, how nice is it to, feel that, taste that victory, and especially for these young players, Sarah, Kiana, all the young newcomers, Angel, somebody who this is her first time on a win streak in the GNAC. How nice is it for you to be able to just feel the victory, and try and say, okay, now you got a taste of it. Now let's keep it rolling.
Well, number one, it's so funny that you're like, it's a win streak. It's 2 games, but we'll take it.
Yeah,
we're going to take it
because
this GNAC is tough. But I did bribe them. I told them that if we can win 3 of our next 4, we're going to go to the zoo on Monday. And Kiana really wants to see elephants. She had real tears in her eyes when we said that. So they're pretty motivated. I'm not kidding you. There's a sign on the bench that says we're going to the zoo, and it's just a funny little thing. And but I think the thing about our program, this team, that's really unique is that we've been in growth mindset this entire way. I've never seen a team so resilient and also so committed and relentless. I know normally you start losing and you get down and it just kind of is that snowball effect, but they never did. And they just kept it together. Our focus was growth, get better, improve. Every minute we're on the floor, let's try to improve. And we just keep telling them that, we're a team that's going to come alive a little bit later. And we really haven't even come close to hitting our peak. And so that's something that's really fun. But, we're gonna take our lumps a little bit, but I felt like we did a really good job of just staying present today, and hopefully we can continue that.
All right, Coach, congrats on the win. We'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, thanks so much.
The final score of today's contest, 71-63. The St. Martin Saints emerged victorious. Again, we'd like to remind you to stick around for Game 2 of today's doubleheader. We had the St. Martin's men's basketball team taking on Alaska Fairbanks as well. You can tune into the link for that broadcast right on the same YouTube page. But if you're leaving us now, please have a safe rest of your night and stay safe out there.